You know, sometimes you just gotta look life in the face and accept the fact you do not have money for your hobby right now. So you have to come up with other kinds of videos to fill up the content. Yeah, I know I've said several times before this video I've had ordered kits, but here's the cold hard truth, children. Being an adult and doing adulting can really suck the big one. So, you know, had to cancel those orders, had to pay actual bills. Thank God I canceled those orders before they actually shipped, or, you know, you're not really getting your money back. But don't worry, I got my money back, bills are paid, and hopefully with this next check I can actually get some kits in. Because right now the only kit I got is a Zaku unit, and I fucking hate Zaku units, okay? They're my least favorite thing to build. I've even tried to pawn off this kit to a friend out of how much I do not like Zaku units. I don't even know why I bought it. I think I was, well, yeah, I think I was sauced one night, actually, boys. But what is this video about? This video is about all the tools you need to build Gunpla. Now, listen. There's a lot of things we're going to go into here. I have a wide variety of tools we're going to get into. But let me, right now, in the first minute of this video, break any and all myths. These are the only two things you need, really, for building Gunpla. If I can use my hands at all. So you see, all you need, really, is a pair of nippers to cut out the fucking shit from the runners initially. And a nice little tool to carve off any, you know, sprawling from the plastic. Really, that's all you need if you want to get bare bones to it. It doesn't exactly need to be a pocket knife, but for the first, like, 5 kits I've built in my life, these were the 2 tools. And I shit you not, yes, these are actually the nippers I used. Now that we've, covered and broken the myth of you need all this and that, no you don't. Realistically, you only need something to carve off the sprawling and something to get them out of the runners initially. However, there are many exceptions. Now listen, obviously the various forms of cutlery, scissors, nippers, all that, what you're seeing obviously is not all initially meant for Gunpla. For example, these 2 scissors, they just lie around my desk mostly, so they lie around with my nipper shit. But I have come to realize at many points in time, some types of plastic just suck ass to get rid of. So, you know, sometimes you need to get really fucking creative with how you fucking get rid of these things. And no, don't use this. This is a famous joke of the channel. Everyone knows that is a shitpost. Please do not use pliers on your Gunpla kits. I will slap you myself personally. But now that we've covered that too, although these do come in handy, if you have these little, like, nice side cutters, these are really good for, like, thick bits of plastic that don't want to come off. I haven't built many master grades. In fact, I've only built 1 master grade. But boy, oh boy, have I seen some horror stories of master grades with just bits of plastic that won't come the fuck off. And trust me, you don't want to live through those horror stories. So I always recommend having various forms of cutlery around. Not these, because that ain't even cutlery. Just so you can guarantee to get rid of that shit. However, we get down to an even more brutal fact of even if you get rid of the sprawling, it's going to leave a nasty mark. Which is why we are going to get into some other things right now, ladies and gentlemen. And that is your shaving tools and other kinds of carving tools. Your sanders, your blah blah blah. Yes indeed. Now, this is really fucking fine for those of you who can fucking read it. Oh yeah, I haven't read the back of this in forever. Yeah, this is 120 grit, okay? This is not what I recommend using on your Gunpla kits, but when you have something stubborn, let me tell you, buddy, this does the job. But realistically, if you want to get rid of whatever is left behind from the nubs, stuff like this will do you good. This is basically sandpaper, and these are 2 forms of, how do I say it, shaving tools, really, for shaving down the plastic. Now, of course, there are ways of buffing it out too. You can always take a lovely polish stick and go over it. Or hell, we'll get into this a little later, but you could always use your many forms of markers as well. We'll get into that later. And also cover up that ugly shit. But you also have other ways of dealing with this. And I swear to God, I had a few more of these lying around. I don't know where they've gone. But trust me, having carving tools also is an amazing thing of dealing with the horrid plastic. And trust me, man, that plastic can be aggressive. Sometimes the nubs, the fucking sprawling, it just doesn't go away. I've said sprawling 100 times already, and we're only 6 minutes into the video. Barely. Actually, 5 minutes, 44 seconds. 45, 46. Okay, I gotta stop shitposting and actually focus on the video. But yes, these are other ways you can deal with it. Now, obviously, tools like this are gonna be a little bit more aggressive. You're definitely gonna need to do cover-up work. But if you're working with tools like this and you're careful, realistically, you're not going to have too much of a problem. And so long as you have your polish stick anyway, and the thing is, different sides give it different types of buffing and polish. So having I only have one. Having multiple of these would be really good for you if you want different kinds of look. Now, if you're like me, you just take one and go hog wild because you just want it to look shiny. I don't really care about a specific look. I go all over the place with a polish stick, which is another option. But trust me, many people don't recommend it, and for obvious reasons. Now, back to the basics once again. This is a little bit all over the place, a little bit off the hook video, but this is just covering all the tools. Now, you know what these things are. Sometimes parts are just a royal bitch, and you're just gonna need different kinds of things to help you snap them into place. Reverse tweezers are always fucking lovely. They are the best way to actually securely get a grip on a part, I found. Other types of tweezers, it's very easy to lose parts and mess it up. These are two like beginner set tweezers I got out of a build kit, literally, for a Gunpla building. And these are nice, inverted tweezers, stuff like this. These are more so used for stickers, getting them off. This is another good thing to use for getting stickers off and stuff like that. Also, it'd make a really good dab tool if we're talking about 420 for a second. This is just a little bit fancier version of this boy. This is just a little bit thicker of this boy. It's good to have multiple different kinds of the same thing lying around, not only in case it breaks, but because sometimes I've just found different types of things fit in better in different model kits and stuff like that. There are going to be parts that you build and that you use in your kits that the tweezers just can't fit in, but a different pair of tweezers will. So that's why it's always good to have multiple pairs, you know? It's the only one I've had tonight, I promise. But now, onto a more important thing. And that's covering up and customizing your fuck-ups. Well, or just basic customization. Now, realistically, if you want to be fancy with it, you could use actual paint. And hey, if you want to be brutal and basic, Sharpies are always an option. I keep some Sharpies mixed in just because it's good to rub them into the plastic if you want different kinds of shader looks to it. But realistically, if you want to talk... Oh, fuck, this buddy lost a cap. But realistically, if you want to talk customizing your Gunpla, this is very much the beginner step, you know? Because these aren't actually markers. These are basically... Yeah, you heard that. These are basically paint cans, buddy. And different types of things do different things. The EX stuff is basically clear. You can go over that all day with it. It looks lovely. You got your golds, which are a little bit more fancier. And also, you got your, basically, Sharpies, fine point, for, what is it called? I forget. Lining your Gunplas. I forget what it's called, I really do. Panel lining, there we go. I don't do panel lining often, I do it sometimes, but a lot of times this channel just focuses on the more basic builds, so I don't really do panel lining. But hey, you've seen me go, hog wild off the hook on this channel a lot, so we have done it occasionally on a whim. Not very much. I just don't know what it is. And also, one last thing before we throw this out. These are a bitch to get a hold of in America, but if you get it, it's worth it. This is Gunpla marker eraser. And you can hear, kind of, that's all liquid. This is literally just liquid that erases it. It's basically acid. No, not that kind of acid, druggies. Get the fuck off here. I'm a druggie too, but just chill the fuck out already, okay? This is meant to be more so family friendly. And of course, worrying about all your fuck ups, it's good to have a lovely little sheet lying around to rub off whatever stray markings you do that you never intended for. Now, here is some more miscellaneous tools you don't really need, but I have found always interesting and fun to use. This measuring stick. Why? Well, measuring tape. But why do I have this, and how does this really apply to Gunpla? Well, really, it's just for estimation on customizing certain parts. There are going to be certain parts you want to add on to or remove from. This table even has a little ruler down below. And it's really nice just to have one of these lying around if you need to make a guess on a cut and stuff like that. Really handy little tool. Now, if you're worried about weight, how your Gunpla is going to balance out, stuff like that, having a scale around for that is always good. Or just for weed, I don't know. And of course, you have your handy helping hand that magnifies, holds parts for you. I don't really need to explain what this is. Very basic. I recommend going for something softer. Clips like this that aren't rubber protected can be a little hard on the plastic. I haven't seen kits that can't take this, but it wouldn't surprise me if there are kits that can't. So, yeah, I do recommend getting one that's a little bit softer. This isn't really for Gunpla, but just check this out, man. This shit's cool. Has a laser, has leveling, tape measure. That's really slow. I love it. But another important tool, seriously though, for realsies, is the famous Mr. Cement. Liquid cement. What is this bitch used for? Well, essentially, sometimes you will have your Gunpla that just does not like to go together. It doesn't like to stay together. You know, it says in the instruction these parts go together. Sometimes they just don't. And it's really harsh, really brutal. And, you know, sometimes you just want to throw a fucker through a window. You know? But instead of doing all that, you can just bust out this boy. Oh god, this shit stinks. I'm gonna hate myself. It has a little brush on the end. You just brush it onto the parts that don't like each other. Bob's your uncle. Shit's fixed. It's like it never happened. Now, famous tool right here also that I probably should have covered in the start of this. Runner holders. Because here, for the 5 people who clicked on this video not knowing what the fuck I'm talking about, these are fucking runners. For the 5 people who don't know what runners are. This is the spare parts box. And this is going to be the spare... Yes, this is a Christmas bag. This is going to be the spare parts bag eventually. Because look at this fucking box. I have spare parts for gosh darn days. Let's try to be a little family friendly. But yes, having ways to hold your runners is very useful. I also, here in the build closet, have fucking pegs in the wall everywhere. You guys can see the fucking thumbtacks and shit. That is always motherfucking useful too, for just helping you out with managing runners and making sure shit is a mess. But least, well, really not least. It might be last, but actually it most certainly isn't least. This is the key tool to all Gunpla building that everybody needs to know about. Motherfucking Scotch tape. Have a good day, everybody.